Okay. Still getting started. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, it's muted, thank God. Okay. Alright, alright. Okay. Hold on, everyone. Should probably... Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah, I swear we're getting started. I'm just turning down the music slightly. Okay, okay. Hello, Super. Nice to see you again. Let's get to the chatting screen. Thank you for coming, as always. So, sorry about canceling last Friday's stream. I ordered a bunch of compost, and it was like a basic, 3 cubic yards, which is a lot, basically. I tried to send some pictures to my computer, but Gmail wouldn't let me do that. So, but yeah, it's a pretty massive amount of dirt, so I don't know how that translates into the metric system, but yeah. But yeah, also happy Mermay. And don't worry, it's alright. Real life more important than streaming. Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, if you saw my blue sky, I finished planting all my sprouts, and I got my onion bulbs in there, and my carrot seeds, and some borage seeds. I also tried planting chamomile seeds, but I'm not sure if that's gonna succeed. I don't know. I'm not feeling very hopeful about the chamomile, but you know. But yeah, so I made a lot of progress for my cool weather veggies. Now I just gotta wait for it to warm up for my other veggies. But yeah. I kind of hurt myself during the process though, so hopefully I can still stream. I kind of hurt my wrist. I think I pulled a muscle, so it's feeling a lot better now, but you know, if I end up feeling a lot of pain, then I'll have to end the stream. But yeah, I think I'm okay right now. I also got a really bad sunburn on my back, but it's finally hurting less. Yeah, I wasn't thinking when I was working on Friday, and then I got cooked, basically. But yeah, and also thank you. Glad you think my garden looks nice. Hopefully it'll start looking a lot nicer when things come along. So I'm also thinking about buying some mulch for the pathways, because just plain dirt doesn't look very good. But yeah, yep, literally cooked. But yeah, so here's my current art piece. Right before the stream, I was trying to work with some textures that's how this came to be. I thought it looked cool, but this isn't how I'm gonna work on it, so yeah, I'm just kind of trying to make a lighter texture, and I put a layer mode onto this gradient, so okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and merge this with the layer under here, so now I'll be able to, use the liquify tool on this texture. And what I'm basically trying to do is make a galaxy background for this character. This is Vow. I think I might have talked about him earlier, but he's the Cleric of the Moon. Yeah, I think I showed you this character design a while back. He's the blue-haired cleric guy. So, but yeah, this is him in his merman form. He doesn't have a halo as canon, but I thought it looked cool. But it's supposed to kind of look more like one of the rings that circle the planet, because of the world that he comes from has rings around it. So yeah. And sorry, I hit today my 1,000 day streak on Duolingo. It's so super cool. Well, wow, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, you were talking about that last week. Congratulations on doing that. I know that's a lot of work to get there. But yeah, as I said before, congrats. I wish you continued luck on your Duolingo journey. Yeah, that's really cool. I am still on like 900s for myself, but yeah, I'm gonna try and hit 1000 and then I'll see if I continue. Oops. Also, sorry, I'm still kind of trying to figure out what layer mode this should be in. Some of this is like a little too bright, but ooh, that's kind of crazy looking. I don't want it to be yellow though. Hold on, I know. I have an idea. I'll change the colors of the... Sorry, I'm gonna turn this back to normal, and I'm gonna just try to add more colors to this layer so it has some variation, a lot of cyan colors along with pinks. It's also my brother's birthday, so I will eat a lot of apple pie today. That's cool. Happy birthday to him. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty. Hope he has a happy birthday and all that. And hope you get to enjoy that apple pie. I guess from the sounds of it, I assume that in the Netherlands you eat like stuff that's other than cake then. Because that sounds kind of interesting. Unless it's just your guys' personal choice. I don't know how. I'm not super knowledgeable about the certain traditions there, so. Okay. Oops, and you can't see shit. Sorry. Excuse me. Not if he isn't quick enough. If he is too slow, I would chug that thing down. I put some whipped cream on it normally. I see. Yeah, sounds good. I don't normally put whipped cream on my apple pie, but I do put like a ton of it on when I eat pumpkin pie. Now, no, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of pumpkin pie normally, but I do like it when it's I do like it when there's like a lot of cream on there. Trying to be a little more subtle with this texture here, so. But yeah, so I'm gonna texture, just name this layer the texture space. Okay. And we can start adding a bit more detail to this. Oh, actually, I need to move this. I need to, draw out these rings because they're part of the image too, but they weren't part of the actual blockout process, so. Yeah. But yeah, is there any other types of pies that you like? I guess I don't normally eat pies in general, but I remember eating a lot of chocolate pie as or not a lot, but we'd have chocolate pie during the holidays, and I remember liking that a lot. Haven't really had it in a long time though. It's kind of a fudgy texture, kind of like a mousse. But yeah, we usually have fruit pies nowadays, so whenever there's like that kind of holiday. Not actually, I guess I'm not entirely sure what dessert I prefer over pie, but I'm just kind of a chocolate lover. I guess that's what my preferred dessert. Just anything with chocolate, or that's based in chocolate, I guess. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to draw out these rings right now, so I'm not sure how like strong they'll look, but yeah. I remember a while back I watched a YouTube video about discussing what the world might be like if the Earth had rings, and I thought a world with rings would be kind of interesting. I guess it's not something I think about or thought about a lot before I saw that video. But yeah, a fantasy world with like rings around it would be cool. I guess it'd be kind of a bit different than how our world would be like, because there'd probably be a lot more like belief systems or religious belief systems, including the rings, whether it be kind of with main religions or just like more pagan beliefs, and also the times of days or how the light would be during different days would change, or how the seasons might change as well, depending how thick the rings are. Yeah, I thought it's a really interesting concept. Of course, the fantasy world I made for FAO here, the rings aren't supposed to be too thick, because I didn't want to worry about the science of the different seasons, because I kind of struggled to comprehend that kind of thing. So, rings light, I guess you could say. His halo looks cute. So would it be good if Earth had rings? I don't remember the answer to that. Honestly, it might be a little bit harder for a lot of people, just because sometimes the rings would block out the sun. Of course, nights would be a bit brighter, so depending on how much you prefer darkness or not, that might be a good thing. Might not be a good thing though, because I remember hearing that crime, in the old days, crime would go up during the full moon, and someone theorized that it might have been just because there was more light, so it'd be easier to commit crimes because you can actually see. But of course, I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but yeah. It'd just be a different world. Might affect some of the gravity too with the waves, compared to the moon, but it's been a long time since I saw that video, so I don't remember it exactly. Yeah, I'll probably have to watch it again sometimes. And this, by the way, this palette is, I guess I haven't necessarily decided on all the colors of this palette, but I kind of wanted to work with mostly cooler colors. Of course, there's his skin tone, which will probably be a bit different from most of the other colors, but cool colors outside of pinks, which could either be a light red or a light magenta. Full moon is always awful. I never can sleep during those times. I see. Yeah, then you probably wouldn't be crazy about a world with rings then, because those would be reflecting light. Those would be reflecting the sun's light like crazy. They'd be pretty, but they'd be annoying. Okay, let's blur these out a bit. But yeah, so today it's mostly going to be blocking in colors and, trying to figure out this background. Okay. Just gonna I need to hide that kind of a block out right there. Oops. Nope, not there. Put it back to the sketch under there, and I'm going to name this other layer rings, because that is the main ring layer now. And I'll try adding to it as time goes on, because I don't want to make any decisions that are too permanent right now. Or I guess I should say don't want to go too far along. Yeah, so. And erase some of the rings that kind of go a little too far into the main shape. Okay. Yeah, and try to erase this a little bit. Like, some of the idea that I have for this piece is letting some of the space, you know, space effects to go into these, like, main shadows, but I don't necessarily want the rings to do that right now, so, you know, it's supposed to be a little bit surrealist, I guess, or fanciful, forget it. Okay. Sorry. I read on National Geographic magazine about penguins. They are very good to survivors, but still they are getting extinct. I like penguins, they look cute. Yeah, I know penguins are. Yeah, penguins are pretty cute. Especially the little baby penguins. Like, I remember watching Happy Feet, like, as a kid. And kind of liking how cute the main character was. Like, they're not my favorite animal ever, but I still think they look quite cute. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this layer with the overlay. I know they got some weirder features, but I think like most animals kind of have some weird points. Also, fair warning, I haven't drawn a galaxy in a long time. Like, not since I was probably not since I was back in high school, actually. Because I think like a lot of other people back then, I was pretty interested in I thought galaxies looked kind of cool. Apparently the super colorful pictures you see of galaxies, though, aren't really accurate to how they are in the real world. I don't know what exactly makes them look colorful, or what it was called, but like, there's supposed to be the colorful pictures are supposed to be like readings of different chemicals that are floating around, I think. But if you went into space, you'd probably just see this, you know, black and stars, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm ever going to be an astronaut or anything, so probably not the end of the world on my part. It's always better than my art. My best artwork was a stickman with 3 fingers. He was happy. Ah, I see. I mean, I'm sure it was a very cute stickman. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna put some little dots around. Honestly, my little galaxy paintings from long ago weren't really that great, but of course I didn't really understand layer modes back then, so you know, I just never got around to learning them for a long time. Actually, now that I think about it, there's another piece that I did that's kind of space theme. There's a space background. It was a little more spontaneous, but of course I have other issues with that piece, but you know. Yeah, so I guess this is kind of a space themed. This is from back in 2023, and I was struggling in some aspects because they were just having like major art blocks back then, and I was also addicted to FF14, which is, you know, Final Fantasy 14. This is actually my character from that game, but yeah. So, just thought I'd show it off. Honestly, I haven't played for a little bit, like a few months now, because I think my kind of struggle a bit with socializing. Okay, I'm just gonna name this Space Cloud. Space Cloud 1. Hopefully I remember how to do this. I also need to hit as a flipping mask. Okay. Then I'm just gonna add use the spray right here. It's a bit, the particles here are a bit too big, so I'm just gonna shrink them. Now I can't see the particles, so I need to make them bigger again. Yeah, it's too small. Lower the density. Bigger. Bigger. You probably can't even see that. Okay. This looks good. Looks better, I guess. So I'm gonna make it a lighter color. And start kind of, splattering them around. And I'm probably gonna erase a bunch of these, but right here are supposed to be like stars that are really, really far back. Oh yeah, so for my fun fact of the day, did you know that blue stars are like the hotter stars and that red stars are less hot? I don't know how much you know about astrology, or astronomy. Yeah, it's astronomy, not astrology. Also, I forgot to put this in a layer mode. Let's have it as, oh, no. Okay, maybe not overlay. How about soft light? Nope. Hard light? Yep, okay, that should work. Also erase these. Okay. The sprinkles did add extra texture. It was visible. I see. Yeah, the little sprinkles are just supposed to be the stars that are really far back right now. At least so far. I'm gonna actually blur them a little bit. Just a little soft blur, I think. But yeah, some brighter stars will be coming up. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, there's usually a lot of different layers in this process, so. Okay, I'm wondering if I should start blocking in colors or not, but. I guess right now I can just start blocking in some colors. I forgot to open my reference image for VOD, so I can like get its colors, but so just give me a moment. Let's see. All right, get this little merman rest with its colors, and I'll start blocking in, just blocking things in. So sorry, that was stuff that I was working on earlier. I also need a, holy crap. Okay, BG. Just need to make this its own layer. All right. Okay, so what this current layer is. Might have just been an extra layer right there. Sorry you can't see it, but yeah, I'll just start a skin layer. Skin. And I'll just start laying out the colors. Wow, that's a cool fact. Isn't that the constant of when formula made the lambda max? I learned it from school. It's really cool in colors and heat. Sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about with the lambda max. I might have mentioned that in school or not. I can't remember if they mentioned that in school or not, just because if there's math involved, then I just my brain kind of skips over it. Sorry. But yeah, I know how the colors kind of work with I know like the basics of lighting and stuff, but yeah, not really the exact measurements of. Yeah, I might have to do with the wavelengths. Wavelength. My God. Okay. wavelengths of colors. Like the violets are faster wavelengths and the red is like longer wavelengths. If that's what you mean, then yeah, it might have something to do with that. But yeah, stars also get really big when they're at the later points of their life. So like they expand into red giants at the later point of their life and basically end up a lot larger than they used to be. And then at the very end, they might turn into a white dwarf, or they kind of explode and turn into a black hole. You know, I used to be pretty terrified of black holes when I was like a little kid. But yeah. Yeah, I remember reading about this stuff when I was like a lot younger. Like I used to be more curious about like space and stuff. Back when like information was more just like talking about basic fun facts and, you know, getting into equations. Like as you get older, they start bringing up the equations and all that, and it's like, okay, I'm lost. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully I fulfilled the fun fact quota today. Did you also know that the planet Jupiter emits some of its own light? Like it doesn't compare to the sun or anything, but yeah, it does like create its own light. You know, I kind of have a hard time like grasping the concept of a gas giant, but I think I do now. As a kid, it was kind of a little bit hard to just think of that planet would be just a ball of gas. Like, hard not to imagine something as just being a solid rock like Earth is. I didn't know that. Must be cool for Jupiter. Yeah. Like, I also heard it might have been a failed star, but I've also been told that that fact is not true, so, you know, take that as you will. Okay, so let's just kind of fill in this face. Sorry, I'm being a little bit quiet again. I just kind of been focusing on this these details. No. Oops. Went a little too over, or went over it a little too much. Yeah, I kind of just blocked in the light areas and dark areas. So I haven't entirely planned this piece out, but I'm just kind of going at it. We'll see how it looks in the later stages, I guess I should say. You know, I kind of tried doing it this way because I did that with that reunion piece that's the name of it, with the girl hugging her older brother that's coming in, but... And I noticed that one moved a little faster than I expected, but I'm not sure if it's because of this method or not, so... But yeah, I want to paint a little bit faster just so I can keep up with other people. I'm sorry, I don't really have a lot to talk about. My mind is a little cloudy now. My exams are over. I see. Well, congrats on escaping the exam period. I know that exams can be pretty rough. So, at least you can, like, mostly chill out, I hope. Or at least that I hope you can. Yeah, I definitely don't miss taking exams. Now I'm not done. It's coming closer. It's starting this Thursday. Oh, I see. Sorry, I thought you said you're... Sorry, I misread your message. Yeah. I hope you do well. Yeah, I know they can be kind of a little bit rough. Thank you, this motivates me. You're welcome. Yes. But yeah, I hope you do alright. Sorry, I don't have a ton to say, because... Yeah, so I'm just gonna... I'm still just filling on this area. I'll probably have to repaint the hands at some point, but, you know, not right now, because I don't feel like it. Anyways, you know, just wait. I don't think his hands were supposed to be the skin color. No, they weren't. Oops. Okay. So I'm just gonna erase this part. Oopsie. That's not accurate. I need to drag this closer to the... because I keep rolling through every, like, other thing. Okay. Also, it looks like his, chest here is a little bit, more of a gray color, but I'll just paint over it. Yeah, Val has a lot more scaly parts, I realize. I like to give cover my Merman in more scales. Like, I don't make my merfolk characters super fishy, but they do have, like, a lot of scales coming up their body. Like, not as scaly as some people, but still pretty scaly. Did you know penguins have 2 vocal cords right in front of their lungs where they can make 2 separate screams or combine them? Oh wow, I didn't know that. That sounds kind of interesting. I know that, like, penguin legs are actually a lot longer than they appear, because with the longer legs they're able to have longer like veins kind of wrapping around their legs, and that creates more heat. Hmm. Just trying to be careful with this area. I'm just brushing in the colors today. Yeah, I like it when there's a lot of the colors of the underpainting break through, because I think that adds a lot of visual interest to the picture here. Sorry, we probably talked about this, but I think you mentioned that penguins are one of your favorite animals. Personally, I don't think I have a favorite animal, but yeah. Just gonna make a darker color right here. Actually, yeah, I don't think I have a shade layer for this, but do I like sloths? I think they're okay. I'm a little more neutral about sloths, I guess. Not really a creature I think a ton about. I guess I'm more of a cat person in general. Usually house cats, because I think about my, little baby. My noisy little baby. I think she's here right now, but she's just kind of tucked up in herself. Snoozing away. Having a little nap and all that. I think this color is actually a little bit warm. I say after like using it everywhere. I'm just gonna make it a little desaturated. Kind of bring out these cheekbones, or this cheekbone up area a bit. Try to be subtle with it, so I'll just kind of blend it out. And do that with these other areas. Alright. And not really filling this area in, because as I said before, it's kind of the wrong color, so. Okay. I think you mentioned that you like sloths too. Yeah, sloths and bees. I also like silk moths. I think they're pretty cute. Kind of feel bad that they don't live very long, but I guess that's just kind of how nature is. Because they don't have mouths to eat with, because they save up energy from their caterpillar or worm stage or caterpillar stage, whatever you say, and they kind of just starve to death as they're in their adult stage. They so slow and have long nails. Yeah, sloths are really cute. I see. Yeah, they're kind of interesting. I just kind of don't really think about them. I know that they can overheat really easily. Ugh. Oh, God. Lukewarm coffee. Ugh. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't finish my coffee in time, but... Okay, so right now I'm just kind of blending things out a bit. Just gonna let it go over the layer here. Just probably wouldn't hurt if there's a little bit of color bleeding. Okay. So I'm gonna go to this grayer part, and I'll start coloring that section in. Honestly, it blends with the skin tone alright. Actually, do I grab the right color? Yeah, grab the right color. So just go ahead and fill this in. Sorry. Ugh. I'm still recovering from that coffee. Penguins can overheat easily, so they use their feet and mouth to make as much heat as they need to leave their body. Yeah, I see. Because they're kind of adapted to cool weather areas. Or I assume a lot of them are, especially like emperor penguins, and generally penguins that live in Antarctica. Did you know that elephant ears are so so large and floppy because they're used as heat sinks? Like they wave them around to help them reduce heat because their body is so large that they just naturally produce a ton of heat. And that's why you don't normally see giant like land mammals. Like you can get like larger animals in the ocean, but on land it's kind of hard for mammals to get too big because, you know, they're warm-blooded. Ugh. But yeah, I thought that part was kind of interesting. Maybe a little bit disappointing because then we don't have a giant. Probably won't have more giant land mammals. Of course, I guess having a ton of giant animals might not be as fun as it sounds. Like, imagine having to worry about woolly mammoths walking across the road. Like you would a moose. I heard moose can be pretty scary. Of course, we don't really have a ton of meese over here, but... Sorry, moose. Sorry, I say meese because I think it's funny, but... Yeah. Okay, I think I'm just gonna move on to the hair layer right now. So, let's grab this soft blue. I've never seen a moose before. Oh, that sounds what... Oh, sorry. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. I was just looking at the artwork. Oh, that's why elephants have them. Sounds really logic when you say it. I never seen a moose before, only on pictures. I might have seen a moose in a zoo before, but, you know, I haven't really seen them in the wild, just because I don't think they're quite as far down south as... I don't think they're quite this far down south. I mean, I'm still pretty far north, but, you know, probably not north enough. We do have, like, a lot of deer, like white-tailed deer, and I've seen those walking around, but, you know, it's not quite comparable to a moose. But yeah, so... Oh yeah, and yesterday I saw some baby geese when I was like driving to work. Because sometimes there's like geese that live around there's like a pond right next to my workplace. Because I think that's part of the landscaping, and sometimes geese and ducks will hang out there. And yeah, so yesterday I saw some like, not yesterday, but Sunday I think, I saw some like little baby geese kind of with their parents. I thought that was kind of cute. I also remember like sometimes seeing like turkeys and their little turklings running across the road. Actually, there's kind of this like nature spot, this like nature park that's kind of near me that I haven't been to for a long time, and I was kind of thinking lately that I should try to visit there sometime, because it's just been a long time since I've been there. I remember going there quite a few times as a kid. Uh-oh. I thought it was on my playlist, but I guess not. It's kind of weird. Okay, let's just get the music started then. I'm just gonna check Discord real quick. I think someone just started streaming, so... Yeah, someone else's stream announcement. Sorry about that. Just wanted to check that. Sorry, I'm just checking a few things just out of habit, but... Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm back to stream. But yeah. And I was thinking about that park because I remember back in, like, when I was still in community college, I'd drive by it and I'd see, like, turkeys hanging around there in the early morning. But yeah. We actually drove around that place. We drove past that place too yesterday with my mother because I tried going to a new clinic. I had to do a meet and greet there with my doc because I have a skin tag that's been causing pain, and they kind of made me do a meet and greet. So I'm also going to have another doctor's appointment next week. Probably do it by myself, but yeah, try to get this stupid skin tag removed. Hopefully it's not too much of a problem. Okay, I need to remember not to bury this too much. It just occurred to me that that Val's hair is actually kind of has a strange, like, hair or a unique effect of just having, like, tints of other colors in it, because it's supposed to be kind of, like, very magical even for his world, so his hair has kind of unique effects. Yeah, before he got the blessing of the moon, he actually he had more of a grayish blonde, or like an ashy gray hair, maybe like ashy blonde. So honestly, his hair just kind of looks like kind of a greenish right now, so maybe I need to make it a little more saturated or blue or something to fit the image. Yeah, so I changed the tint a little bit. It's more of a cyan color now, but maybe not cyan, but yeah, it looks kind of green here because there's so much purple and, you know, more of a purpley blue around here. So, you know, color theory is just doing its thing. But yeah, I'll just blend it a little bit in here because his hair is supposed to be kind of like this anyway. Or have a lot of these multicolor effects. So, and I'll probably just blend it out too. But yeah, so. Okay. You know, Val was actually originally meant to be more of a knight character, like he's supposed to have armor and stuff, but he ended up being a cleric because I guess I tend to prefer characters who tend to be more like healers or magicians. That's why, but like around a year ago, I wanted to learn how to draw armor. I just didn't really go through with that. Technically, he still does wear armor because you know, if he's going out in a dangerous situation, he's usually expected to have like extra protection. So, you know, they make him wear armor. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of blending things out a bit. All right. Okay. Zoom out. Okay. Let me just take a sip of my water and just kind of observe. Also, I think I've just missed an area, so. But yeah, I want to try and get everything blocked in, I guess. But yeah, I missed this. This hair right here I missed, so I'm just gotta make sure to grab that. Okay. Probably won't focus too much on details. Maybe. Okay. Alright. Let's rename this hair as, or this layer as hair. And let's try working on the tail. So, tail. You know, I like to keep things in a lot of different layers so I can keep track of them. So let's get this tail color. Alright, and kind of start blocking it out. I think I have to be a little bit careful with this, some of this initial color scheme, because I realize that his colors are very, like, desaturated. So, just kind of flipping back and forth to also check on and see, try to remember what his, remember what he's supposed to look like, because I don't draw him enough. Honestly, I don't draw any of my OCs enough. I tend to draw, like, random characters for my artworks. And honestly, I've been pretty slow about drawing in general, so yeah. Okay. Need a... Yeah, and the tip of his tail is black, so... Or dark gray, I should say. So I should have some of this kind of going there. And I'll have this bigger brush and just kind of softly paint over it. And I don't think I'm going to get too much put too much detail in, like, scale texture, because I don't normally do that. You know. Yeah, drawing, like, each individual scale would drive me insane, so not something I normally handle very well. So I'm just gonna fill this color in, and then I'm probably gonna add a more of a brighter blue color just because of how gray it looks right here. I just want his colors to pop out a bit more, I guess. Okay, so let's get a brighter blue, and I'll just mix this in a bit. Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see it brighten up a bit, so. All right. And just put it on this right here. Trying to get the right size, sorry. Okay. I'm back. I had to do something real quick. I see. That simple sketch is too cute, too. Oh, you mean like this one? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of... I guess it is kind of cute. I made it for Art Fight last year, which is an event where you draw... where you draw other people's characters, and they might draw your character. So I needed, like, a quick rough, and I was just running out of time because I was, like, trying to draw all my roughs out. You know, it was a very hectic month. But yeah, so. Yeah, so. Also, if I do it again this year, I'm probably going to do it again this year, but I'm not going to go as, like, be as hardcore about it, because it just drained a lot of energy last year, so. Yeah. I would like to get some of my more characters drawn for it though, because just have a reason to have more like drawn reference images drawn for characters, because like especially characters that interact with my other characters, since a lot of the ones right there just kind of live in separate universes. I think so anyway, yeah. Okay, sorry, I just kind of sometimes just try to yap about my characters. Okay, so make sure to darken this section too. I think I'm just gonna erase some of the bleed out right here, because getting a little drowned out, I think. Okay, so. And let's get this pink. Also, I forgot to add his little side fins right here, so I'm just gonna draw those real quick. Okay, yeah, I usually like to give my merman hip fins and sometimes these like little side fins. I forgot what they're called on fish, but yeah, you know, these just little extra fins. I also always forget to give them gills, but it's not like a big deal for me to have gills. Okay, so now we can like just do this, you know, start doing his basic tail. And I'll probably have to make a brighter color to block in here too. Because the underpainting is very, seems to be pretty saturated. Like, I'll just check. Yeah, it's very saturated, so that's probably why everything looks so gray. I mean, I don't mind having a highly saturated piece here and there, though, so not necessarily a bad habit to do. Okay. Sorry, stretching. Yeah, the worst part of my sunburn is that it makes it painful to raise my arms, like, because it's heaviest on my shoulders, I believe. So yeah, so every time I try to raise my arms, I kind of just feel the pain. Yeah, it's not as terrible as it was a little bit ago, but yeah, it still kind of hurts. Yeah. Also, it just dawned on me that I forgot to water my broccoli sprouts today. You know, I'm trying to be a little more careful about watering them, because I've been kind of overwatering them, but I think it's been long enough since the last watering. I think their dirt is... I think they've dried out by now, so I'm going to have to water them again today. I don't think they're in desperate need or anything, but, you know, you gotta get it down and done and all. But yeah, I'll try to remember that after stream, so. Honestly, on the bright side for me, it's been like raining for the past few days for my outside, so I haven't had to water the veggies, you know, yet. I know it's going to get a lot drier once summer hits, like actual summer, so. Honestly, it's still been pretty cool lately. Like, I'm a little worried about the next Thursday night, I think, because it's supposed to be... The night temperature is supposed to get, like, below freezing, like, slightly below freezing, so there might be a light frost to worry about. I mean, all my cool weather. That's kind of the reason why I've only planted my cool weather veggies. So hopefully they should be okay, but yeah, I'm a little worried about some of them. Like, they'll probably be okay, but, you know, we'll have to see. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so things should probably be... I've been told that things should probably be a bit safer after around Mother's Day, which is the 11th. Actually, the last predicted frost day, or that's not last, but the average, you know, the average end of the frost. I'm sorry, I'm not describing it very well. Basically, the 13th is the, like, the last day for frost risk, I think, so... Around then, I'm probably going to plant my alyssums. And maybe put my... And, you know, maybe put my lavender down in the dirt. I haven't planted my lavender plant quite yet, so... That's the only one that hasn't actually been put into the dirt, because I looked it up, and apparently it's a little more of a warm weather plant. Like, the variety I have is English lavender, so should be able to handle some chilliness, but... You know, I'll have to wait and see. Like, I'll probably be okay. Like, it's known to be able to survive winter if you remember to cover it up. So, yeah. Still, I'm probably gonna wait a little bit for that one. And at the end of the month or next July, I'm probably gonna plant all my warm weathers or my tender veggies. So. You know, can't wait for that part. I mean, I guess I can kind of wait. This last weekend was pretty rough, but, you know. I'm also thinking about getting some mulch for the pathways. I mean, I was hoping to kind of wait on that, but... It seems like the spring sale for the... At one of the places near me that sells garden stuff is going to be ending pretty soon, so... I wonder if I should get it, and because it's like 50% off if I get it soon. But yeah, I shouldn't necessarily need too much for that because it's just the pathways. But yeah, he looks very muscular or musculous. Yeah, he's actually pretty. You know, for someone who he's actually like surprisingly jacked, but. You know, he does, like, some physical exercise. And he did more labor in the past, but yeah. So. Yeah, Val was pretty... He's a lot bigger than most of my characters are. Yeah, most of my characters are supposed to be a little bit on the smaller side. So, in general. Like, both in height and stature, and muscle. Though I guess it kind of... I tend to draw them with a lot of muscle in general, anyway, but yeah, he's a little bit he's a bit beefier than what I'm used to. Okay, I forgot to fill in this back area, so let me just do this. Hopefully be able to try to do his arms next, and well, maybe his iris first, because I haven't done his iris yet. And then I can add more detail as I go on, so. Yeah, but blocking out in the early stage tends to be one of the more important parts. Okay, so now I'm just gonna come up with a more saturated pink right here. And just kind of lightly put it in this... Probably more around this area. Or I say this area, I mean like the tips. Or the ends, I should say, because his tail right here isn't necessarily supposed to stand out too much, but you know. Okay. But yeah, so maybe add a little splash of, maybe a little bit of color right here, so. Okay. Yeah, it's not super pretty right now, but it's getting there. Okay, so I'm just gonna do his iris real quick. And I'm probably gonna use a more solid color. He has a very dark gray eye. He has dark gray eyes, so. So I'm probably just gonna block it in a bit more fully. Okay, so let's I need to make the other color, and I'm gonna make it even darker. So yeah, I'm just doing his iris real quick. Okay. All right, just fill it in right here. Yeah, just do some basic shading, basically. Muscles are cool. Do you have many muscles? I wouldn't call myself jacked or anything, but I do have muscles from my job, since there's a lot of labor involved. Like, my biceps are noticeable, and I think my calf muscles are pretty big, are pretty buff. So I guess I'm like kind of muscular, just not like super muscular or anything. Like, I wouldn't call myself like super healthy or anything. Just kind of picked up muscle over the years. Honestly, my left leg has been sore a lot, so I'm hoping that's just because it's getting more muscle. Because I figure that the reason my right leg might not be as muscular is just because, or sore I should say, is because it has a little more muscle. You know, because it's my dominant leg. I'm right-handed, so I figure I'm left-legged too. Or not right-legged, I should say, not left. Because I think people tend to have a dominant leg as well. I think that's what I heard. Okay. Just gonna zoom out. How about you? Do you have any muscle? Okay, sorry about that. I might try and add more green to the ring spot behind him at some point. Not right now, but I know his design tends to have a lot of pink in it, so it might be worth the effort to just make the rings a little more green on the green side. Like kind of a pastel limey green. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Okay. Oh yeah, gotta remember to name this. Irish. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I should probably fill in his arms, so. Yeah. Right, arms. I'll just new that layer. Arms. I'm a little strong, yeah. I'm not... It's not that I'm jacked either, but I have muscles from helping my dad during heavy work. I see. Yeah, so like labor muscles, basically. Yeah, I see. But yeah, I'm not really someone who bodybuilds or anything, so. But yeah, my job includes like some heavy lifting and pushing and stuff. My previous position was mostly just pushing, but yeah, now I have to like lift heavy like parts and stuff for the making like bottle bins. Cause the bottom like part, like when I'm doing my job, I have to like set up bins for the machines, so because that's where the bottles and cans and stuff go in. And like the heavy, like most of the parts aren't too heavy, but the like bottom part, it's very, very heavy. It's also the part that's most likely to be warped, so that's kind of frustrating on my part, because when you like have to deal with warped parts, you have to like set it up on top of the bins inside the truck, because we put the filled up bins in a truck, but I don't have the strength to chuck it up there, because there's actually like 2 bins stacked up in the truck, so it's actually pretty high up there. But yeah, I don't quite have that muscle, so yeah, I think most of my strength is in my calves, because I pushed carts beforehand, and that's as I said, that's more heavy in the pushing aspect. Sorry, I was checking. I just checked my... I don't know if you heard that, but I got a Discord message, so I wondered if it was important or not. But yeah, I think someone just kind of... It's not. So, sorry, I know it's not good to be distracted by that kind of thing. But I just kind of want to check and see what it is. Oh my god. Air. Whew. But yeah, I might buy... Sorry, I was... Oh god, this is the wrong color again. But yeah, sorry to yap again, but... Yeah, I tend to buy a lot of, basically my job has a lot of, labor involved. I think you have to walk around a lot, too. You have to walk around a lot, too, and try to be somewhat quick about it, because we also have to do, returns. So we have to walk around the entire store and try to put things back. So... It's strenuous in its own way. So... Not quite as easy as I thought it would be, but it's not like horrible or anything. I still prefer it to carts, because I don't have to be outside in the heat / snow / rain / wind / Being strong is fun. It's fun to see how much people can carry. I see. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, hopefully at least I can be able to carry heavier things eventually, because... You know, inevitably you'll get stronger. I'll get stronger. But yeah. Sorry, I tried to bring up another topic, but then I kind of forgot, so... It probably wasn't... It was a little off topic from what we were... From muscles, but, you know. I guess for some extra lore, I don't know if I don't know if I mentioned this about Val, but he used to be like a servant to someone. Like a personal servant to another person. Basically, the person he worked with, they used to live in an orphanage together. And his friend kind of had a proficiency with healing, but... So he kind of stuck around with And Val kind of had a hard time with other people, so they kind of just become close friends as childhood, and he kind of stuck around as a personal servant. And kind of... So he did some labor involving that, though he actually is pretty decent at making tea, too. But, yeah. But yeah, now he's like, ever since he got the blessing of the moon, now he's kind of in a cleric position. Though Val kind of prefers the simple life rather than being like an important person. He actually gets kind of stressed out pretty easily, so... Like, he likes to help people and stuff, it's just that he's kind kind of one of those people that handle the slow life better. One day you'll be next, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know about that one. No, probably not that quite that jacked. Yeah. Also, I showed you this on accident earlier, but I thought I'd just show it off again. I might try 3D sculpting again. I don't know. That, or just kind of edit my VRoid model, because that was the original plan, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind like having more of a customized face. I guess looking at my character, I still generally like the face. I just kind of wish that some of his features were maybe a little more pronounced, like maybe more of a semi-realistic look. Like what you see here is still kind of more anime, but you know, I kind of prefer when my characters are a little bit have a little more of a realistic face, I guess. So I've been kind of messing with that. I don't know if I'll go through this, but you know, I've been drawing the basic plan. I also gave him legs in this version, but if I make a custom model, I might be able to switch out between legs and his ghost tail, because having a version with legs might be kind of useful if I ever like try to do like full body tracking. I don't know, I thought it'd be kind of interesting, but I might try to ask someone else if they know any good tutorials for 3D stuff. But like I know someone who does like 3D VRoid stuff, so I might just try to ask them at some point. But you know, I'm supposed to focus on Mermay stuff this month, so yeah, I still haven't like planned out my final painting yet. But yeah, I see it's a masculine model. Oh yeah, yeah, oops, sorry. Yeah, it's supposed to be a little more. It's supposed to be male. You know, like not super masculine, but you know, kind of a like male, but just not kind of a dainty, more delicate look. Yeah, I can't really go crazy with yeah, VRoid's a little bit limited, so like I feel like I've been able to push it quite a bit, even as with my current model, but you know, maybe not quite enough. But yeah, so especially with like a certain fashion items and stuff, I think most people usually have to go to Blender to add the things they want. Sorry. So of course I could always like try editing the face, but I heard another person that messes with VRoid kind of had some problems with losing their bones, or tracking, I guess I should say. Bones are basically what helps with the rigging, so basically what helps the model move in the way you want. But yeah, I'm not like super knowledgeable about 3D stuff, so I have to think about it later. Okay, what was I doing again? Yeah, hands. Sorry about that. I got pretty sidetracked right there, but hopefully I can work on that. I don't know if I'm going to be working on that on stream or not. I mean, part of me wanted to make it kind of a surprise, like the final model, but yeah, I don't know. I tried working on my 2D model plan, but I guess I got kind of demotivated with it because it's like how complicated it turned out to be. But yeah, so also just my art style kind of changed a lot since I initially drew that, because I've been using as my reference for the 3D plan, but as you can see, like the way I draw faces changed a bit. So of course, like the very, very first version of the 2D model that had like a much more mature look to him, but I didn't think it looked quite great or all that great. Honestly, I think the torso, there's just a lot of issues with the proportions there, because I think I might have made the initial torso a bit too short. Of course, this outfit design might play a role in that kind of perception as well. But yeah, so... yeah, so I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna just remake my entire model in Blender or not. I like how the green hair looks. It has a glowy look. Yeah, that's kind of... that was my intention with the hair, because, you know, he's supposed to be a ghost, so I wanted him to have kind of a glowy look to his hair. So it's kind of evolved slowly over time. It was, you know, it's always intended to have that glowy look. You know, I'll show you the very first version, actually. Or some of the earlier versions real quick. I need to go to the correct folder. Sorry, I'm not always the best about finding folders, but... okay, let's see. There's like a lot of... okay, let me see. Yeah, so this is the very, very first version of the model. I didn't... as you can see, I wasn't super thrilled about how the proportions in general came out, but this is like the basic plan. But yeah, as you can see, his like face was meant to be a lot more mature looking. But then in the second version, I try to make him a little more delicate looking, because thought maybe I can do a better job with that. But yeah, I also just wasn't crazy about the anatomy here. I kind of preferred how I drew the hat in this version though. Yes, there's a few things that I kind of struggle with the older version. There's also, sorry, I just closed it without showing the hair properly, but I'll show you my very first reference thing. So his hair was always intended to be kind of glowy, but it was more just like this minty color. And later on, I added more like variation in the colors, like included more of a lime green colors and all that, because I thought the effect kind of looked pretty interesting. So yeah, that's kind of how his hair evolved. There's supposed to be kind of a bluish glowing, or it's kind of between the two aspects, there's kind of like these bluish glowing parts, and also this lime green glowing parts. So, you know, these different color variations tend to add interest. You know, I've been trying to use that effect in my art in general more, but that's something I kind of come up with on the spot when it comes to like illustrations and stuff. But yeah, so big ghost, yeah. Technically, he is 5'8", or I think around 172 centimeters in metric, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I tried to get his measurements right in VOD, but yeah. And VOD has a centimeter, so, you know, I'm trying to keep track of that exact height in centimeters, because I'm not always the best about remembering, but yeah. Okay, I need to drag down some of this black because it's a gradient. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to draw gradients, or paint with gradients, I should say. Like when I used to do more like a simplified, or I should say when my art was a little more on the simplified side, like, I shouldn't say simplified, but, you know, not paintings, but just kind of a line art and flat, you know, it looked a lot flatter. I tended to work with a lot more gradients because my methods were just very different back then. But then I kind of switched to more of a digital painting, and that's where I kind of... my struggles with gradients began. Okay. I know I wrote this as an arms layer, but I need to... his neck is actually supposed to have some blue on it too, so... I'll just correct that real quick. So just fill this in. Yeah, I tend to give my Monster Boy characters colorful collarbones, like necks and collarbones, because I think it looks interesting. Or I guess I should say I think it looks cool. Actually, ours is shoulders. Yeah, shoulders have a little bit, few scales too, so I have to add a little bit blue here. Yeah, just to be kind of light about it. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Wasn't really paying. Okay. Also, I need to get some more water because I just ran out. So I will be back soon. Not too long, hopefully. Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. It's just water, but you know, I'll try to make sure to flavor it as well. But yeah, I have those like little squirt bottles that help flavor your, give you more flavor. But yeah, so anyways, I'll be back soon. Just yep. Okay, let's get to the BRB screen. Boop. All right. See ya. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just refilled my water, so you know, I made nice and lemon lime flavored because that's one of my, I think that's one of my favorite flavor choices is lemon lime. So yeah. All right, let's just kind of. Oh crap! Sorry, this current reference doesn't have that, so I need to move back to this folder and then yeah, get here because I included this you know, this thing, so yeah, I just call it a thing. Sorry, can't seem to think of the name right now. But yeah, I need to fill this thing. I can't believe I forgot what this is called though. Whoops. I think I also need to redo the reference on this specifically because just so people can see the pattern if they want to draw him on. Because it's like, he does have like a very, very detailed character design. At least his human form does. Not so much as a merman form. I imagine his mer form is quite a bit more. But oops, this is the wrong. I just used the wrong brush right there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so just kind of fill this in. I know this thing is supposed to have be kind of multicolored too. There's also a gold trim that I'm going to have to add at some point, but I'll probably worry about it a little bit later. But yeah, it's a very complicated pattern, so. Years ago on Nickelodeon, I watched a series about mermaids, but I can't really remember the name. I see. I'm honestly not really sure what the series is either. I don't know if it's like H2O that you're thinking of, because I remember that was a pretty popular mermaid series, but I don't know who was playing that. Or which channel that had that show on. I didn't really watch it much, because I usually couldn't just catch it. Also, back then, I just had an aversion to live action. Oh my god, my voice is cracking. Sorry about that. But yeah, I see H2O. Yeah, when I was a kid, I just mostly wanted to watch cartoons rather than live action shows, even though I liked mermaids. I guess I actually watched a little bit of it, but I also try to watch it on YouTube, because back then, copyright wasn't really a big concern not really that big of a concern back then, but yeah, I didn't quite finish it. I also used to really like watching like people's like mermaid series. Like back then, a lot of kids would make a series about mermaids or turning into mermaids. You know, they'd have like these kind of fake mermaid tails that you could wear. And when I was younger, I used to be like kind of obsessed with that kind of stuff. You know, I just kind of watch everyone's like mermaid series. You know, I kind of fantasize as for having my own like mermaid tail, but you know, I couldn't afford it back then because I didn't have a job or anything. But yeah, I also tried looking up a lot of mermaid spells back then. I think it was like 11 back then. Oh my god, sorry. I lost my initial color and turned purple. I haven't tried any of them because I know that most of them sounded kind of nonsensical. I don't know if I guess like the logic back then is if there was going to be a mermaid spell, it'd probably be something that require a body of water that wasn't just your bathtub. But you know, like part of me still had that hope in there. But yeah. So, what kind of Sorry, I just went on yapping there. What kind of cartoons did you watch? Being a mermaid wouldn't be too bad, right? Like most of the Earth is water. Yeah, I guess I kind of agree. I think my main issue is just the lack of fire to cook with. Because if I was a mermaid, I want to be one that was close to land, so I can cook stuff. But yeah. I remember seeing one that kind of seemed like the most convincing as for a spell, but it kind of required you to find a body of water in like midnight on a full moon. It's like, I do not have the balls to sneak out of the house. I do not have that. I do not have the guts to do that, so yeah, I never did it. You know, I think the closest body of water near me is like a river too, so that'd probably be like really dangerous. So Yeah. But yeah, and what kind of cartoons I watched as a kid? I remember Phineas and Ferb. There was Ed and Eddie. There was also Kids Next Door. There was you know, I was a 2000s kid, so there was also Teen Titans, like not the one that they have now, but the old version. I remember liking that. Trying to remember. There's Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob. SpongeBob has been around for ages. There was like Digimon. I remember they had that. There was Totally Spies when I was like really little. Courage the Cowardly Dog. I remember really liking that one. There's like a plenty of cartoons back then, but so I can't really list them all. I don't really remember all of them either, but yeah, I was definitely more of an animation person. Honestly, I'm still more of an animation person, but yeah, so I don't know. Honestly, my obsession went on for a pretty long time. I think even like into like I'd have like obsessions that would periodically happen, and it would probably take like a year for me to get over it. So I also remember like doing online quizzes that kind of like what color of tail would you have, or that kind of thing. Being a mermaid without, oh, sorry. I thought that was a new message, but yeah. But yeah, I was definitely like into that kind of thing as a kid. This might be a dumb question, but since it's kind of on topic, if you were turned into a merman, what kind of fish would you want to be based on? Or not based on, but what kind of fish would you want to be? Want to look like, I guess I should say. Like, would you want to be a traditional merman, or would you want to be a octopus merman, or leaf slug? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Sometimes these theoretical questions can be kind of fun, though. Anyways, let's get back to work. I guess I haven't really stopped working or anything, but... Okay, I need to work on the staff. Yeah, just Sash. I'll just call it Sash for now. Staff. Oh, great question. I would like to have a nice smooth tail, maybe a swordfish. They are really fast. I see. Yeah, I think I remember swordfish being pretty quick. They're one of the fish that tend to that live out in the open ocean. Yeah, I'd feel like that'd be a pretty cool fish to be. I'd probably want to be like more of a... Generally, when I design merfolk, I tend to use more traditional designs, so I don't normally think about what the what kind of species I would be. Or I say traditional merfolk, like as in they're just like a general fishy tail. But though I tend to also design them, like tend to make them look kind of like plants sometimes. So I had to think about what kind of fish I would want to be. Fish/sea creature. So just give me a moment. Trying to think of all the various sea creatures I know. Oops, sorry. What would I be? I say as I half distractedly. I guess I kind of would like to be able to travel a lot, though I'd also like to have a lot of protection. Of course, as I said, I like kind of would prefer to be near land, so maybe some kind of mammal. Yeah, I don't want to say mud skipper. I don't think that'd be a very fantastical image. Maybe a pufferfish potty. Hey. Yeah, I don't know about pufferfish. A basket shark tail. Those look cool. Maybe. Maybe a bull shark. Maybe a bull shark would be kind of interesting. They can go up like rivers for they can stay in freshwater for a long time. So I could both be able to travel through the... So I could probably go through both rivers and the sea. I mean, I'd have to go back to the sea eventually, but, you know, just kind of visit the north every once in a while. I guess I'll settle with bull shark for now. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a huge bull shark fan, but, you know, being able to travel more easily would be nice. But yeah. That'll be my answer. In terms of coolness or things something that would be interesting, I'd probably want to be like one of those kinds of sea slugs. I forgot what the scientific name is, but like the little sea... I don't want to just say sea dragon, but I'll just Google it real quick. Okay, sea dragon slug. Okay, sorry. Like those ones with the little tails. Yeah, it's showing me on Google. I'll just copy and paste a picture for you so you can see what I mean. Not leave. Copy image. Okay. Let me just zoom out so you can see. Control V. Yeah, this one. Yeah, basically if I want a coolness factor, I just choose this one. So, let me get back to OBS. Yeah, this one. The one that snacks from Mana Wars. I guess I should consider doing a Merman based on this one. I have a vague idea of what I want for my my third piece, because I haven't worked on any art this weekend because I was busy with dirt, as you know. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong layer. Okay, hold on, staff. But yeah, they do look cool. Honestly, pretty cute too. They're pretty small. But I also was kind of thinking of a jellyfish merman. I haven't done like jellyfish. You know, I've done like a jellyfish mermaid a long time ago for a really old art piece from like 2019. Sorry, because I made a couple of mermaid paintings or digital paintings for an art fair that was at my community college. I didn't really sell anything or much of anything, but you know, I was kind of proud of that piece back then. Yeah, I was wondering if I should like redo that piece, because it was supposed to be like a Zodiac mermaids. I wanted to do all 12 initially, but I was just too busy, so I only did like 2. One for Pisces and the others for Cancer. I don't know if I have it on have it saved on my computer. I might have to yoink it from Google Docs or something. Not Google Docs, but Google Storage. Because I know it's there on one of my there somewhere. Okay, just kind of marking out the edges here. Kind of helps make it pop too. Okay, now we got this final area, so. Okay, and we'll be.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be.
And I'll be able to work on the gold parts, hopefully. I think all the base parts here are actually like silver, so. Okay. Let's zoom out. Yeah. They're, yeah, they do look, sorry. Sorry, I was distracted by the art. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, the base here is actually gold, so I'll just start with that. It's good. I know the staff is going to be a lot of work. I think I just used the same colors. Whoops. Okay. No, let it be kind of thin since I didn't really intend for gold to be a major image here or major color here, so I might have to throw the specific shade around a bit so it looks like it fits in. Or I guess I should say it doesn't like stick out too much. But yeah, so sorry if this process looks a little tedious. Sometimes either the starting part of the painting process is not the start. I guess this isn't necessarily the very start of the painting process, but the earlier parts might not always be the most fun to watch, depending on how I do it. Sometimes it looks like there's a ton of work being done. Sometimes it looks like nothing's being done. But yeah. Okay, sorry, I just realized I haven't opened up Stream Manager, so oops. Okay, sorry about that. I just kind of have this up here just in case to keep track of things. So, okay. Yeah, it didn't take too long, but sometimes I forget to open everything. You know, I felt like I was forgetting something, but of course I don't normally look at it, but you know, it's kind of useful for like post-stream, I think. Maybe not post-stream, but when I raid. Okay. I guess thinking about raids, maybe I can look for someone new. It might take a little longer at the end for me to find someone, but it might not hurt to look for a Mermay. Someone who's doing like Mermay stuff. Yeah, sorry, I'm not always the best about planning my raid targets, but you know, I kind of want to try raiding someone new. Also, hopefully I can get a decent amount of this done. At least just do the basic, you know, as I say before, do the basic parts. Okay. Oops. And the playlist paused. Oopsie daisy. Yep. Okay, that started at the end. Whoops. At least it caught it, so. It's probably good that it paused right then, because I guess I forgot to reset that playlist, that one. Yeah, if I don't complete one of my music playlists on... I guess not the entire playlist, but there's some videos with like collections of music on them that I use. And if I forget to complete it, or if I don't complete it, I have to like reset it manually, so... Because then YouTube will just start at a random place near the end. Not near the end, but, you know, around where I stopped. And I usually want to play through the whole thing. So... But yeah. Also, still haven't really been able to find more music, but... Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit hard to find copyright-free stuff. I guess I just don't worry about it as much as I did, because I just don't really have the energy right now. But yeah, so... Just kind of blending out the gold here. Should probably, mark out some of the lighter areas. Need to act like I know where the light source is coming from. Or the main light source, I should say. I think it's a little more frontal, so I mark out the... or add a bit of a gradient to these earlier parts. Alright, so... yeah, have it... make these edges right here a bit brighter. So like this. Okay. Honestly, I just mark it a bit out here so it stands out a bit more. But yeah, I'll just kind of throw down some color at these edges. You know, blend it out so it doesn't look like it's just random marks. Okay. Okay. Just kind of lighten it in general, I guess. And of course, do this part too. You don't want to miss this. Of course, I just remembered that this part's probably going to get covered in silver, so... Like, there's silver trimming. I'll worry about that a bit later, so... Oops. Okay. So, just mark out some of these highlight areas, I think. Shoot. Shoot. The music is nice. Thank you. I didn't write or anything, but... Sorry. Someone else's music. Like, I hear there's decent copyright-free stuff out there. It's just kind of hard to look for it. They use YouTube and not Spotify. I don't think I ever had opened a... No, I never opened a Spotify account, because I know some people will, like, play a bunch of music, or have their music kind of I guess there's a plugin that kind of separates their music, so they were able to play copyright music, but in their VODs, there's no music in the background, so they don't get nuked by Twitch. I don't know. I mean, I thought about something like that, but I don't really want to... I do kind of want my VODs to have some music in them, so... Kind of weird when there's just a blank silence. Oops. Sorry, I just needed to look at the stuff again. Okay, I think I'm just gonna... Right now I'm gonna fill in that gemstone, so... since it's kind of transparent, I think that most of the light would actually come from the opposite end of the, or I should say the lighter side would come from the opposite end of the light source. Oh no, it's kind of, clear stuff is kind of complicated, but, or I guess weird, I should say. Like, I have a book that kind of teaches you some of the basics of rendering. Like, not super basics, but kind of helps you understand basic rendering. I need to look at that again, but yeah, it kind of explained transparent things to me, like how light passes through it, and it's kind of unique in how it works. Nope. Discord sound. Hope nothing too crazy is happening right now. I'll just look on the phone, so. Okay, someone just... Yeah, I don't need to worry about that right now. Oops. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alright. I'll just mark out where the highlight might be. Could be wrong, but you know. Oh well. Of course, I can just work on this. I'll develop this further, I should say, a bit later. Okay, so we're getting there. Getting there. Okay. Okay, maybe I can just worry about some of the other parts right now. I think I'll go back to the hair layer and maybe mark out some of the lighter and darker areas. So. Oh, anyways. Yeah, so. Mark out potential highlights, I should say. Okay. Alright, so just where the highlights being where the light hits the hair directly. So that should help me with other stuff too. Okay. 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 Sorry. I actually missed some other stuff. Might have missed other stuff, I should say. Yeah, I did. I'll deal with it later, though. If I can remember. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so I'll probably blend out these basic highlights just because it's not quite that developed yet, but you know, eventually get there. It's also good to have this area a little bit under some of the basic idea of this area. Okay, so just mark out these edges a bit too. Yeah, I just remember that Val's hair is technically supposed to glow slightly. That's why it's kind of multicolored, I guess. He's magical. Because he's a magical moon man. this up a bit. Yeah, I think that usually the final highlights happen on another layer, so usually a layer with the add glow mode on. Okay, so I think some light should be hitting right here. Okay. Okay. It's very, very overcast today. I just looked out the window. It's like, yeah, it's very overcast. It was raining this morning, so I wonder if it's going to rain again. No, I checked on my veggies a little bit ago, like maybe but right before I started the stream. So, it seems like they're all alive, but I'm a little worried about some of the lettuce that I got because I think I kind of crushed it a bit. Yeah, I was trying to pick up a bunch of my lettuce containers, and I think I accidentally crushed a couple of them. So I'm a little bit worried about how it'll go. But yeah, it's supposed to be one of the varieties that I got. I guess one of the varieties, though. One variety that's supposed to grow super fast. So I think it's one of those loose leaf types of lettuce, though. So yeah, it's supposed to be harvestable in like 4 to 5 weeks, so it's very fast growing. So, I guess if it dies, I'll just buy another one, but it shouldn't hurt if I do that. But yeah, I'm a little down if it ends up dying, because it's a very dumb mistake to make, to just crush your plant. It really begins to look like pure art. Thank you. Yeah, so I guess it's kind of coming together. Yeah, I forgot to do his ears right here, though. And I still need to do his, halo, too. His ring halo. Maybe the ring halo can be pink, and then I can make the background ones, more of a green color. Just because, so it pops out a bit more. Because I kind of just chose a random color for those rings, but yeah, I was kind of bouncing between pink or green. I feel like I should have went with green, though. I'll just kind of draw over it, and then it can have like little peaks of pink in there. But yeah, I think since pink is technically already a color that's a part of VOW, or part of VOW's color scheme, I'll give him the pink ring, and then and those like little dots around him, they can be pink too. But yeah, it should help him like pop out a bit more as well. So okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna start working on these lower sections of hair. I guess I should include some like darker areas as well. I'm not sure how far I'll go into the heavy blocking, since I'm trying something a little bit different. Like there's supposed to be some of the galaxy effects kind of leaking into the darker areas, but I'm not sure how far I'll go with that quite yet. But yeah, I guess once I get enough done on this basic body, I'll go back to the galaxy sections. Try to bring more of that out. I think some of these dark parts I'm just gonna draw over, like his like right here. I don't know if you can see, you can't see it, but like right here, I'll just shade over that because I think it'll look better. But yeah. Okay, so time to just get this area. Get back to work. Okay. Honestly, I'm kind of pleased with this color scheme right now. Like, some of the areas might need to be brought out with the original colors, but I kind of like these like softer, cool colors. Honestly, I always like cool colors. But yeah. Okay. Just take another drink. Okay. All right. I think my wrist is holding up all right now, so I don't think this should be anything permanent or anything. Yeah. I had to like leave work early last Sunday, so because of my wrist, so I was a little bit worried about how it would end up. But I guess I didn't really mind leaving work too much because it was a Sunday, which is a busy day. Yeah, I don't think it didn't seem like too upset when I left, so no. But yeah, I probably need to be careful with that. You know, I pulled the muscle because of shoveling. I'm pretty sure because I had to like shovel so much dirt this weekend. Just a lot of compost. You know, woke up at like 8 a.m. on Friday and just kind of, because like they called me at like that time. It's like, hey, are you okay with us dumping it or delivering the dirt today? And it's like, oh yeah, sure. So I woke up early, kind of moved some of the cars over because we have a turnaround, and had to move a couple of cars there, and just kind of, you know, waited for the dirt to come. And it came a little bit before stream, so it's like, maybe I can stream, but then it's like, yeah, I saw the amount, it's like, yeah, I probably should just work today. So, yeah, I ended up not finishing, because I also had to, like, re-till some of the plots there, plots in my garden, because they weren't really tilled that well. So I didn't finish until, like, later on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I started planting things out, but because my wrist hurt, how my wrist was feeling, I couldn't, like, do too much. You know, I only could do, like, the lettuce and, like, you know, like, the lettuce plot. Honestly, I guess it's quite a... Thinking about it now, I did, like, plant quite a bit. I had to plant, like, I didn't have to do it, but I planted out, like, 200 onion bulb. So, onion bulbs, sorry. So yeah, hopefully I should be able to get a lot of onions this year. You know, I actually do eat a lot of onions, so... Also, hopefully I should be able to think a little less, or not have to think about the gardening quite as much. Like, obviously I have to take care of it, but you know, I don't have to worry about planning anymore. At least soon. I still need to handle some of my, still have to worry about the tender veggies and then my Elysiums. Because I'm going to wait until, like, you know, after the 11th to do those. So, probably can do them on a Monday. Actually, I'm going to the doctor's. No, I can do that. Yes, that's when my next doctor's appointment is, so. But yeah. Okay. You know, I feel like I should probably blend the skin out a bit more. Usually like to give my character smoother skin, I guess. At least for the early parts. Even though I struggled a lot in like 2003 with art, I feel like some of my, you know, better rendered pieces actually come from that year. Yeah, I think a lot of people still like really like one of my pieces that I did, that kind of headshot or that profile image of that blonde guy with the staff. Yeah, I think a lot of people still like that piece quite a bit, so. Hopefully I can achieve that, something like that again sometime. But I also need to like work at a reasonable pace, because that took like a week of intense drawing. I think I also had more free time back then, so. Yeah, so. Some year. Okay. I think we're getting there with the late parts of the hair. Of course, I still want to do these hairs around the scalp. Okay. Yeah, so let's go back to the skin layer, and I'll start blending things out a bit. So get the wet bleed blender, which is one of the brushes that come with CSP. And just kind of blend things out. You know, since it's so thin here, it ends up still a bit transparent, so some of the underpainting still pops through too. Or I should say bleeds through. Okay. Alright. Let's get this base layer. I also should probably fix this tone a bit, because it still feels a little too strong. It just occurred to me that photos taken in space tend to have like really strong shadows, so. I guess he's not exactly in space, but you know, it's kind of a surrealist thing, so. It's supposed to look like he's in space. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. I also should add more colors to this, his eyelashes sometime soon. Yeah, I think there's supposed to be more variation in the tones here. So, like blush and lip color and all that. So let's go back to this. Actually, yeah, it's a little less saturated with his colors here. So it's okay. So I'm just gonna go over his face and stuff. Actually, let's have an extra or a layer on top of that. And I can do is blush there, and it affects the skin layer a little less. So I tend to do this with my drawings because I can control the opacity. Okay, let's darken this a lot more actually. It also doesn't really affect the layer under it until I actually merge it down, so. Okay, let's lower the opacity right here. Yeah, and then I can erase this, so. Okay. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad, but I wanna erase a little bit of this. Okay, I don't want the blush to reach over too much. Of course, maybe on the exact areas here, I probably want it to look a little bit more like, right, no. That was the hard brush, that was the wrong one. Okay, the soft air brush. There. Yeah, a little more pink right there. And okay, now I will merge that down, and okay. And just take this, make it a little more of a magenta pink. And on the edge of this layer, I'm going to include some subsurface scattering, so. His skin tends to do that, though it's going to be a little more of a pink color to fit in with the general image. Okay. Alright, alright. So I'm just gonna softly add a bit more color here. Right. Yeah, I figured this could add some more, a little bit of visual interest. Oops. Too much right there. Nope. You know what? Just gonna. Okay. Okay. I'm probably going to add a little more detail or a little more color here, so I'll add a lot of pink. Okay. All right. Okay, super cool. Spooky ghost. You wouldn't want to be a kind of ghost that scares people, right? I guess not normally. Maybe around Halloween, sure, but yeah, I guess maybe not terrify people away. I guess I don't normally think about that. Sometimes I like spooky topics and themes, but I guess I want to call myself like a hardcore scarer or anything. I never celebrated Halloween. Is it really as fun as they say it is? Yeah, especially if you're a kid. It hasn't been like that thrilling as an adult, but I haven't really I think yeah, so I don't really celebrate it much anymore, but outside of maybe watching a scary movie, but as a kid it was my favorite holiday because I really liked dressing up and trick-or-treating, getting a lot of candy, though I don't normally eat all the candy, but yeah. Just not as fun now that I'm a adult though, because yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of. But yeah, I think costumes were my favorite part of that holiday. So honestly, if I had money and slash skill, when I was younger, I probably would have gotten into cosplay, but you know, I didn't have that kind of money, so I never ended up doing that. You know, maybe if I'm in ever enough better spot financially, maybe I can try that again, but not again, but I haven't really started it. But yeah. Yeah, so usually in suburbs is where like a lot of the trick-or-treating happens. But I live in the countryside, so there weren't like too many kids around my area, so we kind of just did we usually had to go somewhere else for trick-or-treating. Still, it was some of the houses that people set up and all the decorations and stuff, it tended to be pretty cool. I always was a little out of society when I was younger. Our town did it sometimes, but I didn't like the kids. But fun to hear America has fun Halloween. Yeah. But yeah, nowadays I mostly just kind of watch a spooky movie. I think the year before last year was, I watched Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which is a pretty good animated movie. Has a really, like, beautiful art style. And then the year before, or 2024, so basically last year, I went ahead and tried watching a movie I hadn't, like, heard of too much, but I guess it might have been pretty popular in some circles. It's called Hellsing, like 2004. I liked that movie quite a bit. It was really fun. I don't know if you heard of it, but kind of a... But yeah, it's like Dracula, there's werewolves, there's Frankenstein in there. Basically a lot of, Dr. Hyde was a part of it too. There's a lot of, I guess, old Victorian monsters in that movie. Some of the CGI looks a little aged, but I think it kind of holds up, honestly. Just like it's kind of a fun action movie. I loved it. It was such a funny movie. Pennywise was really humoristic in the first movie. I see. Yeah, I liked it too. I haven't watched in a while, but I did watch both movies in the theaters, so. But yeah, I had some fun with those movies. I just haven't really watched them again in a while. I think the one sad part about last Halloween is that the kettle corn people at the local farmers market, they shut down at the end of the year, during Halloween, or the end of the month, I should say. So yeah, because I wanted to watch Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is a movie that people say inspired Bloodborne, or one of the inspirations for Bloodborne, and I wanted to get kettle corn to eat while I watched that, and then I learned that the kettle corn people weren't going to sell anymore, so no one has replaced them, so I haven't like figured out how to make my own kettle corn yet. I looked up online, seeing it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it myself, so probably shouldn't be too complicated, but yeah. How he crawled out of that fridge was funny, and him waving that bloody arm in his hand. I see. Yeah, I don't remember it too clearly, but there's yeah, I remember like some of the stuff that happened. Honestly, that like old lady in the second movie though, she kind of freaked me out a lot. I wouldn't consider myself like a super big baby with movies, but sometimes I am a little bit of one. Kind of depends, I guess. I don't like the sensation of being chased, I guess. That's one of the big things. You know, I'm more scared of horror games, actually. I don't know if you play... Actually, I don't know if you play games in general. I think you mentioned... I think you might have said you don't play games a lot. I don't remember, sorry. Honestly, most of my stuff tends to be horror game or like lore videos about horror games. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna blink. Blink. Just gonna... I've been kind of just looking at my art piece right now. By the way, have you had kettle corn before? I kind of went on a tirade about kettle corn, but it's like popcorn that's kind of cooked in the kettle. They cook it with sugar and salt, so there's like this kind of a shell or like sugary shell over it, so it's kind of has both a salty and sweet flavor. Fun movie, I meant, not fun game. Yeah, sorry, I just kind of... Yeah, I understood your message. I just kind of meant... I kind of just trailed off to games, because, I do watch a lot of video game lore videos, or I used to do that. So, that's kind of my main interaction in horror, so I was kind of wondering if you had any experience with horror games. I think I ever... Or, did you mean never, or... Had kettle corn, yeah. Yeah, I think kettle corn might be if you said never, then yeah, I think kettle corn might be a more of a North American thing, so. It's good though, it shouldn't be too hard to make, but just kind of sugar and salt. Oh, I did mean never. Oh, I see. I did Google and I'm sure of it. I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess they have it over there then. Yeah, kettle corn's pretty good. I have to remember to get popcorn sometime. Like plain popcorn kernels, and then just kind of... Yeah, it shouldn't be hard to make. Just kind of... Just keep forgetting to do that. I'm so sorry for my English. I still have to learn grammar. I see. No, it's okay. You're doing pretty well. It's just... There's just a few hiccups here and there. Yeah, I don't think you usually like put ever in front of if you mean like... I don't think you usually put ever if you're trying to confirm something, so you'd probably just say, I think I had kettle corn, yeah, instead of just never. If you're denying it, then you'd probably put never had, though, so... That's kind of why I got a little bit confused. Okay. Alright, thank you. Alright. You're a good English tutor? I see. I mean, I'm not really the best with the language either, but even though it's my first language. But I do know, like, obviously I still know some of the stuff. I did. Yeah, sometimes the lessons in school can be kind of messy, so you learn some things and like you're supposed to learn some things, but then you just don't end up learning it. Or they kind of just forget to teach you everything else. So I might not be the best person to ask for everything, but I still got like some. It's not like I don't have any grasp on it when I'm on English. I mean, I did used to read a lot, so. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of. I'm still a little distracted, of course, because I'm still trying to get these base colors in. Yeah, I think I need to get some of this blue in here, because... Okay. Yeah, so... just kind of... This blue is supposed to be a bit more prominent on this torso, so I'll bring this out. Yeah, most of my knowledge is art, so. Okay. Doesn't look very blue, does it? Sorry, just chose a bluer color, so I'll probably be adding that in a bit more. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm so quiet. I'm just kind of trying to get this right real quick. Okay. Alright. Okay. Just check the time. I'll see if I can go in for 3 hours. I'm not super worn out yet, but I probably do need to take a little break, so just, you know, go to the little ghost room. Yeah, sorry, it sounds gross. Okay, I'll just BRB, probably get some water too, so probably like 5 to 10 minutes. Not super long, but, you know, just need to do a couple of things. So yeah, I'll BRB. Right, hello, I'm back again. Sorry about that. Just kind of took my little break. Sorry, got distracted for a moment. Yeah, so should be getting there. I guess my basic goal isn't entirely complete quite yet, but we're getting there. It's not the end of not like a panic time or anything. Okay, so there's something I kind of wanted to try right here, so. And then after this, I'll try to do the rest of the basic blocking, because I still need to worry about that, I realize. So, no, I just wanted to add some of the hair color over here, so I'm gonna make it just because I thought it'd make it look kind of interesting. Like, add it faintly, so. And yeah, I also gotta fill in some of these basic, these little dots and stars that I drew around him. Just gonna have it cut through right here, so add a little bit of his face color. Okay, and we can just blend it a bit, so. Okay. Sorry. It looks okay. Maybe I can erase a little bit. Yeah, it might be a little too much right here, so. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so I need to color in this halo after I'm gonna recolor these rings real quick though, because I want it to be green, so. Like a kind of a mintier color for now. So, okay, I'm just turn off the clipping mask, and then I'll just kind of, yeah, color in this green color. I guess it looks kind of bluish right here. I don't know. Make it. Yeah, it still looks kind of blue here, so I'm just gonna go greener. Yeah, okay, it's starting to look kind of a green. And I'm gonna erase some of it so you can kind of still see some of the pink. I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe like this though. Okay, too much right there, so. Okay, and then just kind of soften it right here. Lower the opacity to 95s. Just cause. Alright. Merge. Turn this back into a clipping mask, and okay. Yeah, I think this looks a little more. Yeah, I think this looks a little more in line with what I want, so. Alright, so then I can come back up here. And, I'll have the halo be on top. And that can be pink, so. Because pink is a part of Val's color scheme. So, I'll just yoink this color and it'll make it pinker. Actually, maybe I'll take it from his Cleric outfit. I guess it looks kind of purple, more purple than pink, though. I'll just make it a little pinker, so. So now I just have to draw it out, basically. See how it looks. I'll start off with this like basic pink, and then I can add some effects later on. So. Because I want to make it look like it's kind of glowing, so. Yeah, I think it'll look cool if it... Yeah, it'll look cool when if I make it glow, so... But that's a little bit later down the line, I think, so... Just gotta do these little marks real quick. Alright. I also still forgot the ear. I'll probably have that be a part of the arms layer, but... Yeah. I keep forgetting about it, so... Hopefully I remember it by the end of stream. Honestly, it does look like it's coming along a bit. Yeah, I think I like the direction it's going. Yeah. So I just need to mark out more of this, Alright. Okay. Also, I forgot to mention, sorry to yap so much about gardening, but, you know, that's basically my weekend was dedicated to gardening. Yeah, I did buy, like, a pack of 4 of more broccoli, so... You know, my brassica patch is technically wide enough to handle, like, handle it, hopefully. So... There's gonna be my 8... There's gonna be 8 broccoli that I'm gonna plant in. Along with the 4 I bought from the garden center, so... And the 4 is supposed to be more of the traditional broccoli, so, you know, just like one big head with that's, and also green rather than purple. So... Technically, you can... Or it'll regrow some, another head if you... For a couple of times, I think. But probably not as well as the burgundy that I bought, you know. I mean, I'll have to see how it goes once I'm actually gardening, but yeah. Also did quite a bit to try and enrich the soil a bit, so I bought a bag of worm castings, which is worm poop, basically. And I also got some more bone meal and spread that around. Turns out worm castings aren't too expensive, so kind of grateful for that. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit of the financial pain from the garden. Kind of scared to look at my account, but I have to. Okay, so yeah, it's the base color for now. You know, worry about that more later. Actually, yeah. Should probably flip this. Just gonna see if I should smooth this out. The shape isn't perfect, but you know, it's fine. Okay. So yeah, let's go to the arms, and I'll just have the ear layer be in there, so... Nope, go back to the reference. His ears kind of work like everything else on his body, so... You know, a little bit gray, but oh well. Alright. Okay. Alright, some blue, make it a more saturated version. Then get my black. I'll just fill that. Okay. Yeah, shouldn't be too hard. Wasn't too hard. Okay, flip it back around. Sorry, I'm just staring at it. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think about what to do next. I guess I'll try to bring out the edges here a little bit more too on the staff. I'm kind of was supposed to do that earlier, but I didn't. So, okay, this is like way too blue. Make it more purpley. Yeah, basically, put a darker color down here, and that can bring out the edges to this gold. Metallics are normally supposed to have like a lot of, be kind of extreme with the different values, especially with between the shadows and the light areas. So that's what it makes it, because it's highly reflective and all that. That's kind of how it goes with shiny things. Okay. Alright, alright. Okay. So darken this more. Alright, alright. Alright, so zoom back out. Maybe I can add some darker areas in this hair right here, maybe. Just kind of take this shade. Maybe make it a little bit lighter. I don't think his hair is technically supposed to be too dark because of how it is, but right under the highlight, so add some shadows or darker areas to make it stand out a bit more. Okay. So I'm gonna check the time. Kind of surprised I was able to make it for 3 hours, but I guess that's kind of how it is for the earlier parts of drawing. Alright. So, just kind of drag out this shadow a bit. Okay. Okay. Let's swing in here a bit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm basically adding more shadows to this hair right now. Still not going too complicated, but you know. Okay. Just kind of be soft about it. Okay. Alright. So fill in this. Swing in here. Okay. Add a little bit of darkness right here. Of course, right here. Just gonna go over this. Yeah, I can add a bit of darkness right here. Okay. Alright. Okay. Wow, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. Yeah. It's definitely longer than I'm used to. Throat doesn't seem to be hurting too much, but... wonder if I should go on for longer or not. I did try to go on for longer on last week, but... you know, I got kind of interrupted. It's probably for the best that I was interrupted. My throat actually was kind of hurting then, but... I guess I could try going on for a little longer since I'm not feeling, like, too crappy right now. I don't know, I try to make up a bit for canceling last stream. Also just catch up with this piece, you know? Also, when I was getting water, I realized that it seems like the bigger risk for my wrist, since it's been injured, while it seems to be okay when I draw, I think the issue is probably when I try to lift heavy things. Because I was trying to hold up the water jug, and that's when it was starting to hurt, so... yeah. Had to be careful with that. Alright. Yeah, also sorry I haven't been chatting too much. I just kind of, you know, get kind of focused on the art. I think slowly you're growing with streaming. Thank you. Hopefully so. Sometimes my voice feels stronger, sometimes it doesn't, so it's kind of a... a little bit random sometimes. I love chatting. Chatting is fun. Yeah, chatting can be nice. No, I appreciate chatting with you. But yeah, so... probably add a little bit more shading over here real quick. Just so you can tell it exists. Okay. Okay. So we got this, and I think I forgot to do this layer, so... or not layer, but piece right here. So, daisy. Try to add a little more shading right here. But yeah. Also, I just remembered that I'm supposed to kind of fill in or mark out the little stars and orbs real quick, so after I do this, I'll probably get to that. So just kind of put it down. Okay. Whew. Alright, what should I do? Yeah. Orbs and stars. Okay. So, how about I just make it a very light color. Just kind of color it in. Might add more later on, but I'm not, you know, just kind of focus on the ones that I put down already. Okay, I'm just gonna take this purpley color, and then just gonna, you know, add to it. So, but yeah, hopefully I can focus on more things outside of gardening sometime soon. So I just feel like that's all I've been talking about for like the past couple of months. Because I just put so much time into planning things out. Basically, I want to experience another hobby. Like another hobby, please, please. Maybe get back to actual reading and stuff. Okay, this is not... this one isn't as late as I hoped it would be, so I'm just gonna lighten it further. Okay. Okay, so... just make these pop out a little bit more, I guess. That's kind of my goal here. More of a bluish color right here. Yeah, just kind of fill it up. Okay. Yeah, this one will be pink, so like the halo. So, pastel pink. No, lighter. Lighter, dang it. Okay. This might be okay for now. But yeah, I also just haven't been drawing in a little bit, like, you know, all weekend. Because, you know, as I say before, gardening, shoveling, so much shoveling. Alright, so let's get... Okay, let's, just gonna go ahead and work on this, belly button real quick. Make it darker. And then I'll do the same for the nostrils real quick. Yeah, mark those out. Okay. Yeah, also I'm gonna make sure and try to... like, I don't have any plans on canceling next Friday, so... if you know, I'm probably gonna do another art piece, like that art trade piece that I showed you, I think, on Tuesday. So... you know, I try to bounce between these two images. Yeah. I know that one's definitely going to be a lot more complicated than this one. So, we'll see how it goes. Okay. So I'm just gonna... I think the areas more closer to the front here are going to be... are going to have this kind of... probably going to be a little bit more rendered than the areas that farther away. That might be interesting. I also probably just need to work on the... add a little more to the background. Now that roughly everything has been filled in, I think. We'll have to see. So I'm at skin layer, right? Yeah, I'm still skin, so. Like this front area that... yeah, I'll add its actual shadow layer. Shadows right here. All right. Okay, so. Okay. Hold on. Oh yeah, so forgot the name of this layer. Dots and stars. Yeah, I like to have little decorative elements to my work, so. Okay. Maybe I can go to the tail area, and I can actually... I'm just going to mark out some lighter areas, so... You know, have it look like dots, because... Scales. Try not to have them too grouped together, so... Lower the opacity real quick, and I'll just kind of brush over some, the general lighter area. He has a tight six-pack. If I had that kind of six-pack, it would look cool. I see. Yeah, I got some, noticeable abs. A little bit of beef. Quite a bit of beef for a fish. Okay, so... Sorry, I'm just kinda... thinking things through. Hold on. I'm just gonna take this green color. And I have some areas that are supposed to be marked as later, so I'm just gonna, oops, raise the opacity, see what I can do here. Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can do with this basic I basically put this here so the certain shape still can be made out. Still a little bit nervous about completely blocking things out, so just kind of soft it. Add a bit to this arm. So yeah, I'm just making it green because it, yeah. Not going to add it to the hand yet because I need to work on that. Okay. Yeah, I'll just add a little bit to this tail, so... And I can blend that out to make it look softer. More detail can be added later on, but... Because I'll probably go harder with the layer effects there. Alright. Betty's a real snack. Maybe so, I guess. I think it's more of a shy person. Okay. Alright. And let's get this, actually, I'll worry about it later. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm going to try and add a little bit more to the background. So I'll open this folder again. Okay. And I'll start adding more, see what I can do to adding some more lights and colors and stuff. Overlay. Okay, wait, and some more. Yeah, so this piece is probably going to be a lot more saturated than what I'm used to, so... Still would probably be kind of interesting to see how it comes out in the end. Okay, hold on. Just add maybe a bit more to this corner. Just kind of swishing some colors around. And I'm going to take the hard airbrush, which is still kind of soft, but, you know, not as soft. And just kind of erase a bit of it so it doesn't stand out too much. I also need to put this as a clipping mask. So next I'm going to get a multiply layer, and so it's darker, and make it really dark blue. So Because I think this needs a little more dark colors to it. So, yeah, down here too. Maybe I can make some more dark sections around here. That can probably help his face pop out slightly more. Yeah, so... Also just darken the corners again, so... Make these edges a bit darker. And I'll probably soften the shading here. Don't really want it to be too dark yet. And I'll probably relighten once I add more glowing effects to the halo, so... Yeah. Okay, so zoom out. Sorry, stretching. Oh. Okay. Take a nice sip. Should probably add a little more detail to the tail. That's probably what I need. Of course, I need to name these layers real quick. So, what should I name it? Okay. Dark. Okay. Face Cloud 2. Okay. So I named those layers. Okay. So let's go back to the tail. Basically, this fin, I want to add a little more detail to it, so just add to the rendering, I guess I should say. He looks like a Maximus type name. Maximus? I see. I mean, I guess I can kind of see it. Yeah, I think I told you, his name is actually Val, or Valmont. Kind of a name I made up. I tend to make up names for my characters, because I prefer, like, fantastical names. But yeah. The name he was born with was actually Val, but once he got his, like, blessing, he was kind of renamed to Valmont, because it sounds a little more fancy. How do you spell that? I want to memorize. Okay, so... Val, and then... Okay. Or Valmont. Okay. Yeah, so... Yeah, as I said before, it's made up, so... Doesn't have any real meaning or anything. Just kind of how I prefer to do things. So... Okay. So just kind of add this edge right here. Yeah, I was just kind of feeling like this tail was maybe a little too simple right here, so wanted to add more details to it. No, basically add the edge, so. And I usually make that pop out with a little dark shadow and then a bit of lighting. So, oops, a little too much right there. Oh, it's fun that you're making your own worlds of names and characters. Yeah. I used to be more into world building, but I haven't really done that much recently. I don't know, when I do world building, I like to share it around, but I don't think most people really care, so... Kind of lost a little bit of interest, I guess. But yeah, I have a couple of worlds, so... I also kind of tend to hyper-focus on a few locations, because that's where my characters live. Okay. Alright. So that's a little more detail. Of course, I haven't added much here, so... Feels a little bit bumpy right here, but, you know, we'll make it work. Yeah, I think it's because of how it folds. I'll just lightly add some shading there. Kind of folds a bit on the inner part, so... Yeah, like this. Oh, I will add a few marks here, so... Okay. Alright. Then I will add a bit more. Okay. Yeah, I won't add as many as there are in the reference image, but... because it's a little too complicated, but... I want to have some, so... Okay. Yeah, I marked some basic ones out, so... do the same for this other tail. Light flickered it a little bit. Sometimes it has those little hiccups. But yeah. I don't know if you like do things like world building or OC creation. I know there's a decent amount of it on Blue Sky, but I haven't really interacted with that part of the website. Honestly, I haven't been that great about going onto Blue Sky or social media in general, because I don't know, I just kind of haven't had that much interest, I guess. Honestly, social media can be kind of a nightmare anyway, but Blue Sky's definitely like a lot tamer than most others, but sometimes you still see things that kind of stress you out, so that can be a little bit avoidant with it. Sorry, I'm just trying to... Might be interesting to have the lighting be a little bit different. Blue Sky's fun. It's tame and peaceful art, yeah. Yeah, it's mostly chill. Unlike the other website. Yeah, I haven't been on that other website for like a long time, so... Probably doing alright. Okay. Alright. Sorry, I'm just kinda... Thought it'd be a little bit interesting if I did, made the lighter areas blue. But yeah. I know I shouldn't get too detailed with this tail, but, you know. Before it felt just too simple, so... Probably gonna have a little bit more generalized shading that I'll do on a separate layer and then merge down. But I probably need to take a break from the art piece at some point so I can actually process what I'm doing. Because it's usually good to take a few breaks here and there. Okay. Alright, so just... But right now I'm just marking out the edges with this blue. Yeah, Twitter. Haven't been on there for a long time. So... Mostly doing just fine. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on certain events, but... for like other YouTubers or VTubers, but you know, it's not that. It's probably for the best to just stay off there. Sorry, I just kind of wanted to mess with that. Okay. Just kind of... Maybe the end of this tail can have a little bit more of that blue lighting. Oops. Alright. Yeah, so... Just kind of follow the shape a bit. Just throw on this blue color, or greenish color. Don't forget to drink coffee for great energy. Yeah. I had my coffee earlier. I've been trying to grind my own, so if I, you know, try to make it... If I tried to make more now, I'd probably have to be gone for like, you know, like 20 minutes. I don't really want to leave for that long, so... But yeah, I had my fill earlier, so... Just mostly chugging water right now. But yeah, so I'm just kind of working on my Merman. Okay. You know, I think I'm just gonna finish marking off these, like, edges on the tail, and then I'm probably just gonna end the stream, because I do think I need a mental break from this art piece for a little bit, because, yeah, it's just kind of... I just need a break. Maybe work on it a little more later today, but... It should... And then, next art stream, I'll probably work on that other piece. Rare instance of me drawing a woman. An actual woman. But yeah, my little art trade piece with Starry Mouse, so... No, I'll get to that eventually. Just kind of... Alright, just mark off these edges. Shoop, shoop. You try to be subtle with it. Especially around here, because there's already that kind of bluish green color. Technically on the color wheel, it's just kind of a blue. Like it's bordering on cyan, but still pretty, like, warm. You know, the funny thing about color theory is that there's usually, like, a warm and cool version of each color, but with blue, it's kind of unique, because you know, like, neutral blue is, like, the coolest you can go, so warm and cool blue tend to switch around a lot, since both of them are actually warmer than neutral blue. And I think that tends to cause a lot of confusion for different artists. And Starry Mouse is streaming now. We could rate her. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'd be a good idea. No, just give her a little hello. So. Is she streaming art, actually? So. Sorry, looking at... Usually I try to rate people who are doing art, but I guess I can... I'll make an exception today, since she usually streams a lot earlier than I do, so... I'm just gonna control and copy and paste, just in case. Or, not copy and paste, take a quick screenshot. But yeah. Yeah, I guess we can try doing a quick raid, so... Just try to do something a little different, so... Alright, so let's get that raid started, and raid channel, then, Starry Mouse. Okay, so... Okay. Yeah, it worked, okay. So, yep. thank you again for coming to my stream today, and I will try to stream my normal times on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. and also next Friday at 1 p.m. And I hope your day goes well. Also goes well, and yeah, so I wish you luck on your exams, and adios. Okay, great. Where's my...
Meridian, hello! Thank you so much for the raid. How are you doing? Super. Hello, welcome to stream. How was stream? I saw you were drawing earlier. If you want to share your art with us, that would be great. Let me give you a shout out. Raid! Yeah, welcome raiders. Shout out for you. Great artist. Very comfy, streamy streams. There we go. A little shout out. Thank you so much for the raid. Get cozy comfy. We just started. Art tax, art tax. Oh my gosh. It looks so good. That's 0C, isn't it? Can I share it? Can I show it on stream? Can I show him the art tax on stream? On stream at the same time, so I took the chance to raid. Thank you so much. I can share it? Yes. Art tax, art tax. Oh, Riot Gamescom accepted your card. You have officially tickets. Let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. Alright, let me